In a very big village, a poor blacksmith lived with his 7-year-old daughter, Mara. Her mother had died when Mara was very young. The blacksmith worked hard every day, shaping metal into tools and horseshoes in his forge. Despite his efforts, he never seemed to have enough money. Over the years, he had borrowed money from several people in the village, known as creditors, to keep his forge running and buy food. These creditors wanted their money back, but the blacksmith couldn't pay them. They would come to his house, shouting and demanding their money, calling him names and threatening him in front of the neighbors. The blacksmith felt ashamed and helpless. Mara was a smart and kind little girl. She noticed how sad her father looked when the creditors came. She would ask him, "Papa, what's wrong? Why are those people so angry?" But the blacksmith didn't want to worry her. He would smile and say, "Don't worry, Mara, everything is fine." But Mara knew something was wrong. She just didn't know how to help. One day, the creditors came again. This time, they were louder and angrier than ever. They surrounded the blacksmith, yelling and demanding their money. Mara watched from the doorway of their small house. She saw her father bow his head, his shoulders slumped in shame. He didn't say a word as the creditors shouted at him. Mara felt her heart break. She didn't understand why these people were being so mean to her father. Overwhelmed with sadness, she ran inside the house to a small room where they kept a big drum of water. This was the water they used for drinking and cooking. Mara leaned over the drum, tears streaming down her face. Her small hands gripped the edge of the drum and she cried and cried. Then something amazing happened. As Mara's tears fell into the water began to shimmer and glow. Slowly, the water turned into pure liquid gold. Mara didn't notice at first because her eyes were closed, but when she finally looked up, she gasped. The drum was no longer filled with water, it was filled with gold. When the creditors finally left, the blacksmith went inside to check on Mara. He found her standing by the drum, staring at the golden liquid inside. The blacksmith couldn't believe his eyes. "Mara, what is this?" he asked, his voice trembling. Mara looked up at him, her eyes wide. "I don't know, Papa. I was crying and my tears fell into the water. Then this happened." The blacksmith, being a skilled craftsman, knew how to test metals. He took a small spoon and scooped up some of the liquid. After testing it, he realized it was pure gold, real and very valuable. With this gold, they could pay off all their debts and still have plenty left to live comfortably. But they didn't know if Mara's tears would turn to gold again. One day, Mara was playing outside when she hit her foot on a stone and began to cry. But to her surprise, her tears weren't gold. They were just normal tears. That's when they discovered that the miracle had only happened once. The blacksmith knew they had to use this gift wisely. He paid off all his debts and used the rest of the gold to improve his forge. He turned it into a goldsmith's workshop where he made beautiful jewelry and other items out of gold. Soon, the blacksmith became famous in the village for his skill. People came from far and wide to buy his golden creations. His fame traveled all across Africa and even kings came to honor the goldsmith. They would commission him to create intricate pieces and his work was highly sought after. The blacksmith and Mara lived a life they never thought possible, surrounded by wealth and admiration. One evening, the blacksmith and his daughter Mara sat together by the fire. The blacksmith looked at his daughter and said, "Mara, what happened that day was a miracle. God gave us this gift to help us, but it's up to us to use it well. We must never forget where we came from or how hard life was before." Mara nodded. "I understand, Papa. I always be grateful for what we have." The blacksmith smiled. "Good. Wealth isn't just about having money. It's about being kind, working hard, and helping others. That's what truly matters." Mara listened carefully to her father's words. She promised herself that she would always be kind and generous no matter how much they had. Years went by and the blacksmith's reputation as a skilled goldsmith continued to grow. He and Mara lived a comfortable life, but they never forgot the struggles they had faced. The drum of gold remained in their home as a reminder of the miracle that had changed their lives. Mara grew into a thoughtful and compassionate young woman. She often helped people in the village who were struggling just as she and her father had once struggled. She shared their stories with others, hoping to give them hope. The tale of the blacksmith's daughter and her golden tears became a legend in the village and beyond. People told the story to their children and grandchildren, reminding them that even in the darkest times, miracles can happen. The blacksmith and Mara lived happily, always grateful for the gifts they had received. And though Mara's tears never turned to gold again, the single miracle had been enough to change their lives forever. So, what's the moral lesson of the story? What is there to be learned from this story? It's very, very simple. In your darkest hour, don't give up. In your darkest hour, keep holding on. As long as you keep holding on, a miracle might just happen. And one miracle is actually enough to transform your life for the rest of your lifetime. So, just like Mara and her father, the blacksmith, that in their darkest hour, when all hope was lost, something just happened. This is usually how life goes. So I usually say miracles don't happen every day, but there's a particular miracle that happens every day, and that's the miracle of life. The fact you're alive is already a miracle. Many people are dead, but the miracle that is, every once in a while, something tangible like miracle, something miraculous happen. Those also happen too. So don't give up in your darkest hour. A miracle might just happen. So don't give up. Keep holding on. Keep holding on. I know it might look confusing. You don't know where hope is coming from. No hope. Nobody wants to help you and all that. But in your darkest hour, so if you keep holding on, God will come through for you in ways you don't even know. So God might just send somebody. Something might just happen. So don't just give up. In your darkest hour, something will happen and you call that a miracle. And that miracle is enough to change your life forever. So hold on and don't give up.